the intention is for those ones who are unable to fit in the police lines, they will have ability to rent outside. But even the ones who are in the police lines, then we'll go eventually when the Minister of Public Works finishes the evaluation, we'll go to what we call economic rent. So that that one who is living in the police line is paying rent to government, who will just so that the government becomes landlord for that person in what is called economic rent. So I think we need to remove this perception that I hear that after this policy came, it's like the police are being chased from their houses, go out and live with the community. It is because of the pressure of building police housing in areas that didn't have them that we proposed that can we give housing allowance to those ones? You know, there are those ones who are even living in mud houses, and can we give them house allowance so that they can go live decently within the neighborhood? I think that's the policy, and I think we still have not concluded on the scheme of economic rent. So the ones who live still not paying rent because that policy has not been finalized. But that's the long-term picture. In terms of the ones that were ongoing by the time that policy was brought into place, then it only makes logical sense to complete them. Some of them you can see at 95%. Complete them and then go to that scheme. Then there is the third category of those ones, especially the formed units, where they operate. You can't tell them go and rent outside because even of the nature of the work that they do. So this policy largely affects the general duty officers, but the ones who are formed and in operation areas, then those ones are taken care of properly, even though they would still earn their house allowance. But we won't tell them you are in a war zone, go and rent outside. He won't do that. So the National Police Service has a policy on each of, depending on what the formation is doing. In terms of medical cover, and I'm responding to Honorable Kaunya, I think we have the two. We have the group life, of course, which we have discussed about, and we have the comprehensive medical cover that now is the medical one that covers even the family and all that. We are putting up the hospitals. In fact, there is even a level 6 that will cover the entire security sector being put up in Kabete. But remember, these are specialized hospitals for the ones who are injured while at work. But the police are spread all over. We will expect that the comprehensive medical cover continues so that the ones who are away, the families and all that, can still get medical attention. And in this one, both group life and comprehensive, we have the NHIF providing those services, and we are continuing to fine-tune because the scale is big, so that the police get proper medical attention. IG will deal with the issue of the psychosocial issues and stress management. The Firearm Licensing Board, we are getting this quarter 350 vehicles from the leasing program, and we are trying to spread them across our departments so that each one of them have some basic mobility. The issue of Nakada, we've had Honorable Tekla. We look at how to operationalize a facility that is already built. The difference is 7 million. The newly gazetted police stations, Chair, we have actually, for police stations and Nga offices, we've actually made that request in our presentation, Mheshimiwa. If you go to page 52, we will see we have asked for 8.5 billion to operationalize the police stations that are already gazetted countrywide. If you go to page 54, you will find that we have asked for 561 million to operationalize newly gazetted GAO offices. So we've asked for the money. If it's granted, then we'll be able to operationalize those. And I think in terms of the distribution of the vehicles, for us, the GAO will ensure that up to DCC level, they have each a vehicle. Then we are trying to make pool vehicles for ACCs where we cannot give individual vehicles, and that consideration, because the lease program is now on, we are getting new vehicles. I think IG will be distributing so that every area is taken care of. But IG, you can respond to the ones I didn't touch on in terms of psychosocial issues and the audit on housing.
Thank you, Chairman. On the psychosocial issue, Chairman, you remember we had a very comprehensive discussions with this committee until we retreated to private retreat, and we have sent teams to the ground of doctors. We have now formed a medical board which has concluded its finding from field with a report of officers who requires more psychosocial support, and also waiting for further analysis of their report so that it can become actionable. It's a work in progress. We started with you, this committee, and we need to come back to you after we finish with our report. We promise we'll share the report with this committee. This journey, we are doing it with this committee. So it's a process that we have not lost sight, but it requires scientific data collection so that when we are addressing the issue, we have specific and targets to address. So it's a work on progress. We might not be able to give all the details. The report will be there, and we promise to share with this committee. It's work related. Psychosocial factors will involve stress, which develop to the level of psychosocial. And these are the statistics the board has been addressing across the country, where we have been having challenges of officers facing some of these challenges. On the issue of vehicles, I will give this one to my DIG Kenya Police Service, which question raised from Turkana. The lease program is ongoing. We have withdrawn those old vehicles. There are specific vehicles which we are returning back and issuing new vehicles. We are still going on in this process. What I'm not very sure is Turkana if those vehicles were withdrawn during this exercise, because automatically we are supposed to replace them. But Edward Mbogwa will be able to.
All right, that is the Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai there. And earlier we heard from the Interior PS, Dr. Karanja Kibicho. This morning they are appearing before the National Assembly Administration Committee just to talk about how to elevate the welfare of our officers in the country. And the Interior Ministry, from the report we're getting there, is that the Interior Ministry is seeking an additional 5.8 billion shillings in the 2022-2023 budget to improve the insurance cover of police officers. PS Kibicho wants the MPs to consider rationalizing the insurance cover of police with that of other civil servants. And of course, we have Kevin Washira attending this particular forum for us. We'll be getting more details about this in our subsequent news bulletins.